Yesterday we spoke about obedience leading to blessing or full life, not restriction like most of us seem to think obedience leads to. And today we're going to see that going up to God, getting in His presence leads to intimate detail, leads to being equipped, leads to understanding His will. What do we need to do? We need to understand more of what it means for God to make His home in us. Exodus chapter 19, verse 3 is where this inspiration came from today. Then Moses went up to God and said, and the Lord called to him from the mountaintop and said, "This is what you are to say to the descendants of Jacob, what you are to tell the people of Israel." And I have a few observations for us, and then how to apply it to our lives, and a challenge, and where we're going to go next in the next few days. The first observation is this: going up to God, getting in the presence of God, allows us to recognize His voice. So the more you get in the presence of God, the more you read the Bible, by the way, is how you get in the presence of God. The more you pray to Him, the more you listen to His voice, the more you listen to worship music and other people praying for you and other people speaking His word over you, the more you recognize His voice. Why is it important to recognize His voice? I don't know about you, but every journey I've gone on is difficult. And yes, there's fruit in some seasons and there's less difficult seasons, but I need to recognize His voice because His way and His will is perfect. And if I recognize that perfection, then I'm able to apply Him and His word in my life and able to really thrive through the difficult seasons. Going up to God allows us to be equipped for the journey. Kind of leads straight into it, right? And recognizes His voice allows me to be then equipped for every season that I go through. So how can we be equipped? How can we recognize His voice? Well, number one, you need to be born again. John 3:30 says it this way: Jesus answered him, "Truly, truly, I say to you, unless one is born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God." So this is the beautiful part about God then, and about being born again. If we are born again, if we invite Jesus into our lives, then we can see the kingdom of God. And if we can see the kingdom of God, then our actions will then be applied to reflect the kingdom of God. And reflecting the kingdom of God, all of our lives will look vehemently different than the rest of the world. For good. Not for like show off or for I'm better than you, but for good. He's making us more and more like Jesus every day because God has made His home in us. John 14:23 says it this way: "Anyone who loves me will obey my teaching. My Father will love them and will come to them and make our home with them." It's because He has made His home with you and me. We today must act different. Let's reflect today on what that means. Every single minute of the day, don't forget it, and you'll find that your actions will produce fruit that are not of this world. So why do you go to God? How do you seek His will? In the next few days, I want to discover some of those truths with you and apply it to our lives.